name is Jessica Taylor, and I am your host for the So Off Script podcast. This week, we are continuing in our Black Business Month, highlighting amazing Black-owned businesses here within the DFW. And we're also going to dig into a little bit of the hit reality TV show that I am on, Ready to Love Dallas. This week, we are still continuing in our theme of amazing Black-owned businesses, and I have some of my favorite business owners who are also in the CPG space with me. They are the owners of an amazing tequila brand that is founded right here in Dallas. Brandon Scott and Rod West, the founders and owners of the amazing brand Tequila with Friends. Can we welcome you guys to the stage today?
Thanks, Jess.
Hey,
thank you for having us.
All right, so I'm so glad that you guys are here with us today. We're doing this recap of this TV show, Ready to Love, right? And I feel like it's only fair, since it is Black Business Month, for us to bring some Black businesses into the fold, particularly ones that are here in Dallas, but also ones that I actually enjoy and patronize. So I was talking to Brandon yesterday, and I said, I need you to bring some fresh bottles of tequila because I don't have any more because we drank all of mine. So
sounds like a good time.
Yeah.
Listen, I enjoy it. And so I have a few questions for you guys before we get into the show. And I really want people to just kind of learn more about you guys, your brand. I know there's some other founders here that are part of this particular brand with you guys, but I really wanted to know, and I've always asked this before, how did you all come up with the name? Because I think the name for everything is so significant. Like when I was coming up with Ezra, I was like, I want something biblical or maybe African, but I was like, ain't nobody drinking Jehoshaphat coffee. Like that's just too long. The Hezekiah brew, it's just too long. It doesn't fit, right? But I went through a process of coming and God just really laid it on my spirit that was particularly when I got it in church. So question for you guys. How did you come up with the name Tequila Friends? And then more importantly, tell me a little bit about your brand and some of your other founders.
Yeah, I'll take the first stab at it. So Tequila with Friends is truly just about kind of our story. We've been tequila guys for the last 15 years, people that truly enjoy tequila. Originally, when we launched Tequila with Friends, it's actually a blog. So literally, we were going out to meet other friends that enjoyed tequila the same way we do. So we can tell you about some of the best tequila bars, even give you live reviews on other products, just because we were true tequila nerds. And then we're kind of took a step back and we're like, why are we promoting other brands? We need to be building our own from the ground up. And that's when in 2018, we pivoted our business to say, let's go build our own. And then we flew down to Guadalajara, drove to the city of Tequila, and started the process to actually get everything going, find our manufacturing partner, get our Mexican trademarks, American trademarks, and all of the like to actually build out the business.
Yeah, but the name itself, it comes from the fact that all four of us grew up together as childhood friends. We've been knowing each other more than half of our lives. And I guess a point about us is that none of us really speak Spanish. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
But, Brandon is the most. Anytime we go to Mexico, we asking him to translate and stuff for us. So he's the best Spanish speaker. But none of us speak Spanish, so we wanted this brand to be 100% authentic to who we are. And so we weren't about to name our tequila something in Spanish because, like I said, we don't speak it. And then it was like, what encapsulate us the best? We're friends. We're childhood friends. We love drinking tequila. Tequila with friends.
I like it. I'm here for it. And I think, too, when things are simple, it's just easier. Like, when you just come up with something that's just simple, you don't have to put a whole lot of thought going into it. It's like, this is what work. This is what's supposed to be here. So you mentioned two other people. Who are your other founders within the group? What makes out this solid four?
For sure. And so all four of us, of course, Brandon Scott, Roderick West, we have Cornelius Arnick, and Devin Woodson.
Okay.
So all of us come from Devin and Brandon have the oldest friendship going back to
third, second grade, yep.
And then I met Brandon and Devin in 7th grade, and then Cornelius came on in 10th grade. And then all of us are Omegas as well, which also goes into the friendship thing. And so friendship is essential to the soul.
I like it. And, I think, too, what you guys are doing is so unique because you don't see a lot of people that go into business together as friends.
Yeah.
And remain friends.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I see a lot of people, even when you're seeing these, they start out one way and it's like, oh my God. And then you start to see a separation. So I really appreciate that you guys have been able to be friends and continue to work through it because in business, it's hard. I'm a solopreneur and sometimes I get mad at myself. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I can imagine doing that with four people. Go right ahead.
Yeah. I mean, friendship is what brought us to tequila in the first place.
Yeah.
I mean, Brandon found out he was a diabetic going into our freshman year of college. Did research and found out that tequila metabolizes best within a diabetic's body. So he switched over to tequila, and his good friends weren't going to let him drink alone. So
There we go.
Because what friend does that?
Exactly.
Because
course.
what friend does that?
I do want to say one thing though. So of course, like part of our story is like me being a diabetic. The only reason I knew that I was a diabetic is because of Roderick. So we were actually roommates our first year in college, and line brothers and all that good stuff as well. But he actually pushed me to go to the doctor to actually figure out what was wrong with me. Like he literally.
So what was that? What was going on? What were you experiencing?
Your normal things that most people find out they're diabetic. So you're drinking a ton of water and you're urinating a lot. So those are like the two most common symptoms where people find out they're diabetic. And Raj just like, man, just take 10 minutes, just go to like we're on campus. He's like, just go, just see what they say.
Right.
I'm like, all right, yeah, all right, fine, whatever. I'll just go see what they say. And then they end up sending me to the emergency room and starting this whole process of now I've been diabetic damn near 20 years, but it's been a process. But I thank him for like really helping me discover a part of me that I didn't know that I needed to like keep in check.
And I think too when you're thinking about things and you're out to create a new product, typically you're solving a problem, right? And if you're not, you're also bringing awareness to something that many people don't think about. One thing about our brand, Ezra, is my sister, she has asthma, eczema, she's lactose intolerant, she has a soy and a nut allergy. So she can't do too much of the latte, frappe, anything. And so when I started looking into it more, similar to being diabetic, my grandmother was diabetic, 64% of the population is lactose intolerant.
Oh, yeah.
Of the largest groups of those represented are Black and brown people, right? And so I'm like, okay, well, what are some ways in which I can make this coffee yet still flavorful and enjoyable, not too acidic, not too strong, but still create something that we can enjoy and love and embrace. So I love that the both of us were, well, the collective, we're looking at that and thinking about it as well, because I think it is so important when we think about things that do and don't work for our bodies, you know, and just what you can and can't eat. And so, I was diagnosed with an autoimmune disorder during the pandemic. And I'm even wondering, like, why do I feel this way, whatever. And that's when I started to realize, girl, you can't eat gluten, like pasta, all these different things. And when I tell you I'm the bread girl, like I know all of the restaurants with the best bread, the best
bread.
Okay, so there's the bread and the croissant. So you got to kind of separate them, right? Okay. So I would say Cheddar's is the best croissant. I don't eat their food. I literally just used to go get the bags for the little bread that they have in the beginning. And I'm from Atlanta, and so back home we got these little place called Charlie's. Okay. I don't know if y'all ever, I don't think y'all had those here, but they have really, really good bread, right?
Yeah, we're not privileged in that way.
It's okay. It's hard being God's favorite child. I'm just saying it's hard. But then the other one, I would say, I like Cheesecake's wheat bread.
That is very specific. She's serious.
You ain't hitting Texas Roadhouse. You
never been.
We're gonna fix this.
Lord have mercy. You been in Texas how long?
Oh wow. Going on 6 years. I've never been. Somebody was mentioning a steak place to me the other day that I've never been to either. Something with the grass.
Is Sawgrass a steak?
Yeah.
Sawgrass.
I mean, I guess it's a steakhouse, sort of.
I mean, the same way Texas Roadhouse is.
That's fair.
Oh, okay. Well, see, I've never.
That's fair.
Anyway, so I would say though I haven't been to Texas Roadhouse, so I'm gonna have to try it out. They got I really can't even eat the bread anymore, so I want to pick off of it, but that was that. So I got one more question because you brought up something before we start to get into this show: trademarks.
Yes.
Because a lot of times when we're thinking about business and going into business, we're just excited about the name, the graphics, the logos, the design, and we don't really dig into the back end part of the business. Understand that you need to trademark your stuff. What made you decide that you want to trademark, and then how early within the business did you do it?
We did it really early. We did it years before we got product on the shelves. We literally went through, I think we had to get the American trademark first and then the Mexican trademark. There were some issues back and forth with the Mexican trademark that we were working through just because we use the word tequila. So like we can't like actually trademark just the word tequila because it's already trademarked. Yeah. So we had to send letters back and forth as we were trying to get our actual name trademarked just because we have the word tequila in it. But it was something we wanted to do very early and frankly needed to do just because we were worried about other people taking it. And then of course we wanted to be able to really allow our product to stand out so that people couldn't just come and use the name and do whatever they wanted with it.
And then too, I think there's an importance in understanding the difference between having the trademark and saying I own my domain.
Right.
Because I think I'm still.
Yeah.
Tell the truth and shame the devil.
That's fair.
Yeah, 100%.
A lot of people say that. Oh, girl, I own my business. I own my own domain. I got my LLC. And I'm like, And we thank God for you.
Yeah.
However,
It ain't the same.
it is not the same. And, you know, so for me, I did mine not too long after you. I think me and you were actually talking about it. And I went and I was like, let me go ahead and do this. Because I did the name registry. And I was like, you know what? Go ahead and pay the money. Because the worst thing that you can do is make and print all of this stuff and get you a nice little cease and desist in the mail from somebody else. I got that. You know, and it's unfortunate. I watched actually an episode with a designer who did that. And he just would put all this stuff out. And he had all this product, all these shirts, all these, like, everything, right? And then I also saw it on the flip with the Obama logo, the Obama piece that the guy did with the red, white, and blue. And he was selling the T-shirts, a black guy on the side of the street. He just made it, but he didn't trademark it.
Oh, that's tough.
He made it in his kitchen. He was just excited. He wanted to support Obama. Another guy, white guy, trademarked it. And then now he had to stop selling his stuff. And not all the ones that are sold, he receives the proceeds and stuff off of.
That's tough.
Right. So for me, I was like, let me trademark this. But and the thing too is it's important, but it's also expensive because I had to trademark the logo, the name.
Yep.
And then I did every blend.
Yeah. And you have to do like multiple categories depending on what else you're going to sell.
Yeah, all your different classes. Yeah, I was like, okay, this is.
It's definitely not the fun part of business at all.
It's not. And I think that's which is the reason why I wanted to talk to you guys about that is because I think people see your product on shelf and it's like, oh my God, they made it. Like, they've done the thing, right? But there's so much behind here that gets there. And I understand like less than 1% of Black brands make it to retail shelf. So we are all like in a very, very blessed and fortunate place. But the road to get in there is not easy.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Rod and I can tell you when we were getting I would say our first 10 to 15 stores, it was tough, especially like you're a Black owned brand and you're in tequila and we don't come from the liquor industry. So we don't have the connections to go in that can walk us in and just make that warm introduction. It's all just straight cold. It's basically straight cold calling and a pretty good old boys network. And, you know, for us, it was a lot of just like come in and prove yourself and just outwork everybody. Like that's what it was.
And sometimes that's all you can do, right? That's sometimes all you can do. So is there any other obstacle that you guys may think that you came across within this process other than the cold calling piece?
Man, hopscotch is a real obstacle for us, man. I don't know how in the world y'all girls did that. My bad. All right, obstacles. I mean, as Brandon was saying, one of the huge obstacles is that we're not from the industry. We started this as tequila enthusiasts who just love drinking tequila. And so everything that our brand is today, we got it out the mud. And when I say we got it out the mud, we got it out the MUD.
Yeah.
Like, dude, we had to learn so much so fast within practice. So like Brandon was saying, it's just going into those shops, figuring out the right ways to go in there. Is our price point too high? You know what? Our price point is our price point. Having that confidence in our brand and the fact that it will move and that the price that we have is the right price for it. The brand, the juice, everything in there is good. You need to put this on your shelf. We're going to move it for you. And we proved that time and time and time again. That now it's a little bit easier for us to get into shops and get into stores, get into restaurants and bars and such like that. Another hurdle was figuring out how to play the game when it came to on-premise places. What I mean by on-premise as far as bars and restaurants are concerned. How does that game work as far as getting us on there, showing the proper amount of support in order for that bar or restaurant to continue pushing our brand and supporting our brand. Outside of that is just other obstacles is walking into these stores without a name behind you, whether that be a celebrity name or a big or monstrous, I guess, what is it called?
I would say for us, it's like VC firm or financial backing or investment.
Financial backing, investment, a big house, a house with your name behind us, big distributor name behind us and such like that. But, hey, my name is Roderick West. Who the hell are you?
Yeah.
I'm this guy selling you this tequila. I'm local grown. You about to support this because I got buku people that want to come over here and support this brand.
Right.
And so those are the type of hurdles in which we've had to overcome and that we're still overcoming. But now since first landing in the market on November of 20, celebrating more than 2 years at this point in the game, about to drop our añejo here shortly. We got this confidence, bravado behind us, as well as, more importantly, data behind us to say, No, our tequila will move. I had to went to a shop earlier this year, and the guy is just ripping our brand up, forward and backwards. It won't sell. It doesn't look good. Your price point's too high. I said, well, excuse me, sir. Well, last year in 2022, we were the 7th highest velocity of sale out of any new tequila company here in Texas.
You better talk about it.
Specs holds us, Total Wine holds us, and we have no problem moving our product at the price point. And so you should put this on your shelf because what you're saying is just nonsense. And so at this point, we have the data behind us, the confidence behind us, and the knowledge behind us to get over these hurdles that continue to present themselves to us.
I think that is so important, is the importance of data.
Yeah.
You know, like you can be an amazing brand. You can be pretty, you know, you can have all the things, but if you don't have the data to support your sales, to support your traction, to support your growth, it's lip service, you know? And the thing too, very similar to you, because I'm like, hey, you should put my coffee in your store. And they were like, yeah, we'll do it for February. And I'm like, girl.
You're like, no, it's 11 other months, right? Just
11.
Okay.
Oh, well, we can give you Women's History Month too. And I was like,
keep going.
And for me, you saying play the game, I had to learn how to just kind of swallow it and smile through and tell you the amazing things, because sometimes that East Atlanta roll, and I'd be like, like just talk, you know, sell your product, but show your data. And I think that's what matters most, you know, in the same space is really show the growth of your product. So again, for you guys who are just joining, my name is Jessica Taylor, and I'm the host of the So Off Script podcast. Today, I am joined with Brandon Scott and Rod West, who are the founders and CEOs of an amazing tequila brand called Tequila with Friends. We have so much more to talk about, but we have to give you a few minutes to hear some of these amazing commercial breaks and to hear from some of our sponsors. So we are back with Brandon Scott and Rod West, the founders and CEOs of Tequila with Friends, and I am Jessica Taylor, your host for the So Off Script podcast and cast member for season 8, Ready to Love Dallas on the Hit Network OWN. We are about to dig in a little bit to this week's episode, and this clip we're going to look at is called Birkin or Nah.
Pace, like what's your dating style?
I pay attention to detail. Like what a person like.
Okay, so Birkin bags are really my thing. I like Chanel.
You do?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
She just asked me about a $50,000 purse. I mean, I just met you. I don't even know your last name, Sierra. You kind of scared me when you was talking about them Birkins a little bit. What if it's a rough year and I can't get you that Birkin? Do you leave or do you run away or what do you do?
Oh, I mean, one thing about me, if I want something,
You go find somebody else can get the Birkin?
No, I'm gonna buy the Birkin.
Will you look at me different?
Right.
Because I'm in a rough patch and couldn't get the Birkin?
For you just saying that little thing, that is very true to my life. My finances brings down to men all the time. The Birkin joke's real for me because guys really get intimidated by that. And then for him to turn around trying to make me feel bad, this is really an insecurity within yourself.
You gonna leave her in a Birkin right there.
Okay. All right. So, yeah.
That's a lot to unpack.
So, okay. We're gonna get, because I didn't, and the thing is too, I'm a cast member. So I don't view a lot of stuff the way other people do. And I think too, one thing that this season has shown us is that she is so jovial. Like she's joking and kikiing the entire time. Okay. You know what I'm saying? Like the entire time. And she even said my Birkin joke. Like it was humorous, funny. Like it's not to be like a drag or anything like that. But then more importantly, she said, and when he was like, well, what if I can't do it for you? She said, I will make sure that I get what I want for myself, right? Mm-hmm. So I think, too, that it's important to say, you know, if you can't do it, it's not that I'm going to go find somebody else to replace you. I think people think that. I actually feel like sometimes men, and y'all can speak on that, think that in relationships, like, if I can't do it, she's going to replace me. No, she literally said, I can still go and get this for myself. You know what I'm saying? I'm still going to go out here and get it out the mud and hustle and get the things that I like, because everybody is not going to be into your vices, into your things. And she has an insane purse collection. So that's her own,
that's her thing.
That's her thing. You know what I'm saying? So I think that kind of goes within that space too, because for people who know me, I'm obsessed with art. I will spend some money on some art, and I spend money on fragrances. And I don't expect my partner to be into those things. You know what I'm saying? Like my ex is like, I don't see why your perfume need to be $400. And I'm like, I don't see why you need Jordans every release date. Like everybody has their thing,
For sure.
And I think if it's something that I'm gonna take care of,
Who cares?
have at exactly. Like,
Yeah.
and it was a joke. Like, have at it. Like, laugh, because the date looked there was a lot of dry air
Yeah.
in and out of it.
Yeah, but I mean, it's still a valid question on Buddy's side, right? If I don't provide that for you, how are you going to react? I mean, it's a valid thing, because maybe you don't know her. Is this their first date kind of situation?
See, I don't know. I don't know who's. I was only focused on Team Jessica
Of course.
and Team Jessica. I'm trying to find my Boaz, and right now it's a whole lot of other ones.
Is
not
it too
Boaz.
early to ask if you won?
Listen, I'm just saying, I'm here to find my Boaz, and not broke ass Boaz or any of the other ones in between. I'm here to find him, and I had not been able. I had not been at that point, because this is like week 2 maybe.
Okay.
We still getting to know each other.
Yeah.
And he's our wild card, so he came in midway through.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, it didn't seem like they really jived together too well.
Yeah, as I said, that date seemed a little different.
Yeah. I mean, it definitely felt like a hit dog was kind of hollering a little bit. Like it felt like a sore spot for him, which he could have just said, I'm cool with that. Do your thing. I'm going to take care of the bills. I'm going to focus on this. If you want to go do that thing, if I can help, cool. If I can't, cool. Like he definitely was hypersensitive to the damn bag for.
Somebody said it on Twitter yesterday, and I was like, I didn't even notice it, but I'm not like, he is cutting her off, not finished. I'm like,
Well, he didn't let her finish her statement at all.
yeah.
It's like, hear her out, see what she got to say, instead of just jumping to a conclusion. He might have been hurt in the past.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely.
I don't
Which
know.
shit happens. So that, I mean, it's
It
not.
does. It does.
I would imagine something or somebody in the past probably popped in his head when he heard that, just because he literally was on top of it immediately versus like letting the whole thing play out. I don't think he got it was a joke, because he didn't let her finish the joke. He didn't let it play out.
Yeah. And I think this is so interesting too on this show is you're meeting so many people so fast.
Yeah.
And somebody said this, you can only see people through your own lens of your level of maturity and through your levels of trauma.
Yeah, that's a fact.
And so when you're meeting 10 to 15, because you're meeting guys and girls in this same process, I don't want to offend you. I want to be nice to you. I want to do this. Like, somebody's not going to be happy, right? But no one, I think, really comes into this process to say, I want to be mean, or I'm going to be like, people just come in who they are.
Yeah.
And even with dating and on some of these dates, you're meeting people quickly. You don't know who you're going on a date with till you get there.
Yep.
So I could be really excited thinking I'm going on a date with Rod, and then I get there and it's like, and so now I got to like kick up the energy that I'm excited to be on this date with this other person when I've really been wanting to talk to you this entire time, right? So I think that is something that we also have to think about too. And for me, I'm gonna be honest, I know I have a very different exterior.
Yeah.
There's something, I am a get to know you type person, and that's one thing I had to learn during this process. So I was like, smile early, crack a joke soon.
You had to color yourself friendly.
I understand that. I think I understand it all too well.
You talking about me?
No, because I'm the serious one, definitely. So I have to like kick that part of myself up too.
Yeah,
I'm the
just
serious
like-
one. Yeah.
Okay. And then too, it's like overstimulation. I'm like, you're the 15th person to like, what do you want? Like,
Yeah.
In a day?
oh my God. Like,
Y'all was doing it like that?
These things are filmed consecutively. Like, go change clothes, come back out. Go change clothes, come back out.
That is exhausting.
Right. It's like,
Oh man, it could
how are you?
have been a conversation from a previous date that set him off.
Hey, it's possible.
You see
It's
what I'm saying? And I'm just like, I don't even know, like, okay, girl, let's try it again. And it's one of those kind of things. So I think, I have a new respect for anyone who does reality TV.
Yeah.
Because the process that you go through versus how they cut it up and make it stretch over however many weeks is very different. Like, it is very different. And I'm just like, oh, I thought Nene and Cynthia done been hanging out for 7 months. I didn't know they filmed all of this in 18 weeks, you know, or however brief their process was, right? Yeah. You don't know that. And now I'm like, now this makes sense. Now I can see how this is all coming together, just how they put things together.
But I'm interested to see how Buddy bounces back from that, though.
Well, we're going to see if you do. We're going to see if you do. All right. So with that, we're going to pause for another commercial break and thank our amazing sponsors, Ezra Coffee for sponsoring this, also DCH, and most importantly, our amazing friends who are here with us today, Tequila with Friends. And you can shop their product at Specs, Total Wine, and there are a ton of other amazing restaurants where they actually have their drinks on brew. So if you guys want DFW area, make sure that you go ahead and shop Tequila with Friends and that you purchase their product. And most importantly, continue to support local owned and homegrown businesses. So we are going to move on. Y'all, I'm having such a good time talking to you guys like really dispelling and breaking down and telling people what's really going on and how they need to upskill and skill and best position their business. Like, it is so important. But we got another clip, so we about to check this one out.
You know, I'm also here because I have work to do. Okay. And Tommy has challenged us to kind of discuss doubts. Okay. Doubts can be strong. So I say moments of pause.
The thing about you is a strong woman is attractive to me. You know, it's just what I look for. But since you're such a powerful woman, the way you talk to me has to be different than the way you talk to other people. So if you're in a situation where you have to be so assertive, I need you to be soft when it comes to me because I'm going to always be soft to you.
Okay. Chris wants a softer tone, less assertive. I'm not sure what those different spaces look like. I like direct communication, so I'm not going to say something like this because I want to get a man. Like, that's not it.
So what are some areas about our connection that might give you some pause?
I feel that you may not be as consistent as you present that you are. I don't hear much from you.
Sometimes I get lost in the sauce of work.
Everyone's busy.
Yeah.
But I think you make time for what you want to make time for, right?
And so that's something that I'm going to admit, I need to do it more, but do you truly feel that you've been reaching out to me?
I will say in the beginning, no, because I did not have your phone number. I will put forth more effort in doing it, right? But if you say you're going to call back, then I'm expecting you to do what you say you're going to do. Okay, right?
I'm going to let y'all kick it off. Because I don't want to come wrong. I'm going to let y'all talk.
But the suit was fly. You look fly as all get up, man. I like that tie. Man, look. I don't know why you didn't just melt right then and there.
Oh,
be like, okay, you look good. Forget what your personal character about. Forget what you're talking about. I like you. We going together.
Okay.
On a more serious note, I feel like I've dealt with that with my wife. I would say we probably were switched, and my wife is like, "Hey, you're too turned up." Like, I go from managing the team, and then we're trying to build Tequila with Friends, so I am like high octane all the time, and then constantly like being in leadership roles. I just try to take over, and like you, I'm very direct, say things, and I've had to not dial that back, but adjust my approach. And then the other thing I would say is just kind of be mindful of the timing piece of it. Whereas like I'm going to say what needs to be said because this absolutely needs to be said. I don't want to mince words. I want to be very clear about how I feel about X, Y, or Z, but is this the best time to say that? And I think for me, that's where I've tried to meet my wife in the middle or say, okay, I know this is probably going to set her off. This might be a sensitive area. How do I best position this? Because I'm not going to mince words. My message I want to get across, but how do I do it in a way that it's actually received versus just me feeling better, like I'm going to get it off my chest? So I would say I'm like you. I'm like fiery. Like, what do you mean? It's too much. I'm like, all right, let me just try to hear out what she's saying. And I think that's helped us. I asked her too when we watched the episode, but she said I've gotten a lot better. So hopefully it's I continue to get better at it. But I think, for me, there is a balance, and it's not so much like me changing myself. It's me making sure the version of me actually works well and communicates well with the version of her that we're at today.
You got anything?
Oh, yes, I always got something to say.
Okay.
Nah, I mean, I feel where Buddy's coming from, but at the end of the day, it's relationships are all about respect. I mean, we're also human. Sometimes stuff's gonna pop, fly, but I mean, be man enough or woman enough to come back and say, "Baby, I'm sorry. I took this kind of tone, X, Y, Z, but it's all love. Let me rub your back real quick. We all good." But I mean, at the end of the day, we're human. Respect. As long as there's respect in the game, then everything should be groovy.
How do you guys feel around emotional and psychological safety?
This is something that me and my wife talk about a lot. I actually talk about with folks that are on my team at work too. Like how do I help create the space where you feel safe? Because for me, I'm fiery as hell, kind of like you. So it's like, I'm going to feel safe regardless. Like, I'm going to feel comfortable. But if I know that I need to intentionally create that space with you, then for me, I try to co-create it. Like, what can I say? What can I do that's actually going to make you feel better? Like, is it me just taking 15 seconds after you finish talking to like let my first and second and third immediate thought pass before I respond? So like simple things like that, I try to implement, but I think it's something that's super important. Like you have to go out and create that. And if it's not just immediately there, which I don't know if it is in most relationships, but you have two different people, two different styles, two different set of preferences. So to me, like open communication around what makes you feel safe, because I don't want you clamming up. I don't want to say something that could be something sensitive, and then I get no response from you. Like that's not healthy either. And doesn't help us move the conversation forward. So
yeah, and I think too, so I was talking about in the relationships, for a lot of women, you have to feel safe with a man that will help you alter how you communicate with them, right? And so if you don't know someone, like this is our second time meeting, like ever, in that space right there. And so on that date, we were eating lunch at his space or whatever, and I think things were kind of fine, right? And for me, I'm very particular over the verbiage that we use around each other and to each other. So if you notice, I said, we're talking about doubts. I said, I don't want to call it doubts. I want to say moments of pause.
I like that actually.
Yeah, because I don't know you enough to have a doubt in your character.
Right.
But I do have things that make me say, let me think about that, right? And so I'm very intentional in how I speak, the verbiage that I use when I speak to people, because I don't ever want it to be misconstrued, because I know I am a very direct communicator.
Yep.
And so I can't say, I think you jacked up.
Yep.
Because the energy is already going to be received as like, woo, and that's not what that means either, right? In this particular situation, we weren't communicating, right? And so I'm like, how do you feel these ways? And we're not talking. Like you just said, I don't have your number.
Yep.
You've not contacted me, so how are we feeling this in that space? And I think too, when we're talking to people, we have to provide space to get to know that person, to allow them to communicate with you the way you want to. I'm not going to walk up to you and be like, you need to stop talking to me like that, because I don't like for people to talk to me like that. And I'm like, okay, cool. And then another thing too, but I'm going to pause on that. I'm going to see what y'all say.
I think part of it is like sometimes just asking people what they heard, because you know what you said. Like I'm clear about what I said,
good.
but like, what did you actually hear, and like, how did it land for you?
Yeah.
Because that way you get kind of like ongoing regular feedback, even if it's throughout the conversation. You're like, okay, maybe you won't use that word. That's a trigger word. All right, I'll stay away from that word. I'll do my best to stay away from that word. I'll reframe it like this. So trying to get just that ongoing, especially in those early days where you're learning somebody, just try to get like that ongoing feedback is like hella critical to me at least.
Yeah.
Are we talking about pop and fly? Like somebody talking to you in a disrespectful type of tone or aggressive type of tone? Is that what we're talking about here?
No. So in this clip, he says that he likes for his women to talk to him in a softer tone. So my tone is too direct, too strong. He wants for his woman to more so have a softer, I guess, approach when
really not be you.
That's how I received it.
Nah. Never.
That's how I received it, right? But people on Twitter was like, that is not what he mean. What he just mean is he just wants you to be soft with him. And I'm like, girl, this is my second time seeing this man in my life. I don't know him. Like where am I just now? Like, oh my God, let me melt. And the thing is too, is like, I feel like as women, it's if you do this, then you're too much of that.
Yeah.
If you do that, then you're too much of this. You know, like if I have everything together, is because he starts off, you're a strong woman. And in the very first episode, I love Jessica. She has everything she's put together. So you're telling me, oh, so I'm like, okay, cool. Oof, this is somebody I can be me with, right? And then it's like, well, no, not actually. I'm like, so what is it that you want me to do, right? And so I think, too, is like if you're strong, then it's this narrative. And if you're passive damsel in distress, then there's this narrative, right? But there's never just a...
In the middle.
In the middle.
I mean, so you meet a strong individual, a strong partner. And you want to feel, I guess, special in a way.
Yeah.
It's like this strong individual is so used to exuding this strength around all of these different other types of people, but I want to be special to this individual. So I want them to be a little bit softer with me or treat me a little bit different.
Yeah.
In a way so I can feel special. I think. You get what I'm saying?
Oh, totally.
Yeah. And so maybe from that type of vantage point, but like talking softly and meeking yourself and stuff like that, I can't really jive with that.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as our interaction needs to be special, not only from the way that we feel between each other, but the way that it's perceived as well. So like that's a special person in her life.
You just want it to be different. Like you talk to the world like this, it should feel different when we talk. That's fair. Yeah. I think the soft is so subjective. Like what does that look like? What does that actually mean?
Very different.
But different, I understand that. Like this is who you are to the world. Who are you to me when it comes home? How does it feel different? How do you make that shift? And I think that's probably something that is actually like a really good point and very valid.
It's very valid in full relationships.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like it's very valid. And I think too, when you're dating people, like for me, I have no problem doing that at all. Like for me, I don't want to do nothing. Yeah. Like I just want to be a cute little passenger princess. Cute little I don't want to come home and be in charge. Like I just don't.
You want to do the soft touches and call each other babe and everything else
I
that.
I am all the things, right? Like I am all the things. But I think when you're in these spaces, like I said, this is second time seeing you.
Yeah, that's tough.
No conversations on the phone. Remember, because I don't have your number and you ain't. So for me, it's like I can see totally what you're saying. I'm here. I got that. I can receive that. Even like on the thing I said, I can take that. I can receive that. But I think the assessments of things need to be always fair too.
Had he been reaching out to you? Like I guess you didn't have. Did he have your number?
I didn't have his number.
Did he have yours?
How would I have his number?
Well, hold on. Somebody could have given him yours. I don't know.
No, so he took my number at the.
That's what I'm asking.
At the mixer.
Okay, so he wasn't proactively. Well, to get
the reason I don't have his numbers because you don't call me.
Yeah, I mean, but the other thing too is like the psychological safety. Like you feel safe. Well, by and large, forgive me for the like stereotypes, but by and large, you will feel safe when you're like putting in the effort and you're like building the bridge of trust, and you gotta put in effort to build the bridge. And if I don't feel safe, you're not gonna get soft and or different Jessica because I don't know you. So
can we have an amen corner, please? Can the church say amen? My God. Amen. My God. That's the same thing I said here. That's why I was like consistency. I said my concern is your level of consistency. You're not consistent. Your sheer effort. Yeah. And because I don't see that from you, I'm not in a space to where I can feel like
put my guard down. Yeah. Why would you?
I don't know you, So anyway, I don't want this to, go into the whole thing, but I was just interested to see a man's perspective, looking at it and knowing like, oh, okay, I can see this. So Rod, your feedback, definitely enjoy it, definitely love it, definitely can take it. And I think too is like it's a continuous thing. Like when you're on this TV show, you see things like, I continuously do this, I can continuously work on that, I can continuously show up, but it was like, I don't know you,
Yeah. You're going to get what version you get. The version you get is going to be the normal version. It's going to be the work version. It's going to be the person I am at the office until I know you. I mean, right?
I was going to go the vulnerability approach, but you're on a dating show going across so many different people, you can't just be vulnerable the whole damn time.
Can we talk about that? Yes, and the thing too is, I think none of us are actors. None of us are reality stars. So I feel like in some space, everyone has some level of a guard up.
Without a doubt.
Because you don't know how this is going to be chopped and screwed.
Yeah.
Like that date was a lot longer, and there was a lot of things. Like the part where I told him I can work on that came before something that they edited. It's fine. It's whatever. It is what it is. So I think people have some level of guard. I can only be so vulnerable.
Yeah.
And still know that I'm being filmed and that this is going to be broadcast for hundreds of thousands of people to see. Yeah. For them to all look and be like, girl, you should have been nicer to that man. I'm like, you do. But I remember they don't know that this is my second time seeing you. Yeah.
And it's a difficult situation.
Yeah, yes.
In the instance, you got to read the room. You got to know where you're at, kind of thing. I can't even put myself in that type of situation.
It's heavy. It's heavy. All right. So we have another clip we're going to get into real quick. This one is also a little interesting. So this clip that we're about to get into also came from this week's episode of Ready to Love Dallas. So we're going to dig right in.
I'm an entrepreneur. I own like 10 acres. Actually, chiropractic school. I was trying to be a chiropractor. The model sometimes, so that led to like fashion shows, New York Fashion Week.
You're not going after my heart, you're going after my vote.
So he's lobbying.
Yeah.
34, ain't got no kids.
I did the New York Fashion Week, you know. I was going to school to be a doctor, chiropractor. Somebody stop.
Okay, stop. Okay.
That is him.
Oh, man, y'all tough.
Listen, I'm always here for a good time. But that is how you talk.
Yeah. Yeah.
I thought it was funny. Like, I didn't think it was me. And I was like, I thought it was funny. And Tommy was like, how Chris talk again? And I was like, oh, you want me to show you how you talk? Say less, bro. I got you. I thought it was funny. Like, I didn't think it was.
He said he got his script down and he gonna stick to it.
Uh-huh.
It probably works for him.
But you know what, though? Something I thought about in retrospect, when you're meeting people, you want them to see you quick. Because he's the wild card. So we've already been talking to each other for a couple of times, and now he's coming in mid. So he's like, I got to cover as much ground as I can, to try to win somebody over.
That's fair. I think the part to me that's the funniest, or not the funniest, just the most helpful is to see like how he prioritizes the stuff that's like most important that he thinks is going to win you over. So like, this is the thing that I think I need to throw out first. Shit, that didn't land. All right, let me throw out this one. This is not landing. Shit. All right, I also did this thing too. It's like, okay, I see what's most important to you. So he kind of actually gives you, I mean, he's insanely vulnerable. So I give him credit for that.
Absolutely,
because he's going to like totally throw himself out there. He's like, one of these hooks is going to land me a fish.
Yeah. He definitely was, and I think too, and just in his defense, when they edit those, we had talked to multiple people that day, right? So I think they probably pulled it based off of the commentary that I used. They pulled the clip of when he said that to different people. But he was definitely going around. Chris was making sure, like, hey, do you get to know me? Do you know something? So I thought about it. I said, it's cool. It's still funny, and you still do talk like this, and I've been in person. One girl was so funny when it came out. One girl DM'd me, and she was like, you still in? She said, you've been impersonating people since grad school.
Yes.
It is one of my favorite. I mean, from celebrities on down, like it is one of my favorite. And my daddy, when he be preaching, I got him down pat. Like my parents have videos of me like doing Pay Bill, the whole thing. Like, I enjoy it. Maybe I need to look into a career in doing that.
Yeah,
I think it's kind of fun though.
That was funny though. Yeah. But gotta get a man credit. Like he knows his shit.
He
like,
quit.
This is the top three things I feel the most confident in.
Yeah, this elevator pitch down.
100%.
And in business, do you not need a good one?
Goddamn right you do.
You need a good one. And the thing too is, in a good segue was not only in that, in your pitch, it needs to be succinct, it needs to be direct, because one thing about him, I remembered every single thing.
Yep. All of y'all did. So it worked.
Exactly.
It's just y'all were just like, we don't care about that shit. And that's just on him. Like he's got to figure out like, okay, maybe a little bit less of this. This is the only thing that's most important. And then the rest of the shit I can actually be myself. And dial it back a little bit, probably.
Yeah, but I think about that too. Just not even here. This entire process, you're selling yourself.
Oh, 100%.
Just like when you're trying to sell our product, you're selling yourself. And I'm like, I need to probably work on doing a good mix of both, because he came in quick and I was like, dang, I remember every single thing he said.
That shit worked.
It's worked. His elevator pitch.
And so my thing is, are my elevator pitches for Ezra just as succinct, tight, and as his was?
But hold on, here's the question: when he shot you his elevator pitch, did he sell you?
He sold me on believing that he was an amazing person.
Okay.
He was a nice guy.
Sound like it worked.
Yeah, it worked. It worked.
He sold me on him being a nice guy. I thought he was nice. I thought he was funny. But I just knew in that particular space that we didn't have a connection. You know,
That's
like it. And then the thing for me is like, I know my personality.
Yeah.
And I knew, I was like, this.
He didn't make you blush.
The thing is, though, like, you never know if the connection's going to be there. So at least he was able to get past your gate quickly. And he was super vulnerable. So he brought down probably all the ladies on the show. He probably brought down everybody's gate. So we can see, hey, does this work? Nope, doesn't work. So for him, like, I ain't mad at it.
You know what? That's a great point. Because he definitely did. And I think that I wish they had to show more of that with him, because he's nice. He's still direct, though.
Good.
Which is a great thing that I appreciated about him. He was very clear on who he was, very clear. And I'm like that too. So I kind of get a high when I see other direct communicators, because I'm like, what do you want?
Yep.
Like, let's just let's get to that space.
Isn't directness a trait that most women typically want from men?
I think I will say, I'm gonna answer it two ways.
Okay.
I will say yes. And then I will say yes when it's positive. I want you to be direct with me, and I really want you to be direct with me, but I don't want you to be direct with me when you got to say something I want to hear.
That's fair.
And I don't think that's just women. I think that's anybody,
Where
right?
are women from?
It's unfortunate, but it is. I'm serious. It's unfortunate, but it is.
Yeah.
You know, and that's just where we are. Like, you can tell me all the great things about me, and I can say I'm very direct to you, and you'll be like, oh, God, it's amazing. But if I tell you one thing that you don't like about yourself in the same way that I said how much I loved everything about you,
Oh, yeah.
now it's a problem.
Yeah, we hook on that, especially guys.
Yeah, so now I'm anchored.
Yeah.
It didn't matter that I said these 50 things before. You're now anchored on this one.
Because it feels like you couched it a little bit. It feels like you tried to lessen the blow sometimes.
But then if I give you the blow, then what?
Then we working on that.
See, you see what I'm saying? It's like, it's no win.
There's no win. You just kind of got to work through it. But for him specifically, like, shit, kudos. You knew his elevator pitch, and all of y'all knew his elevator pitch.
That's what I'm saying.
Worked. I mean,
the brother is effective.
you can laugh at. I mean, I think the other thing too is, like, even in a good relationship, you want somebody you can kind of laugh at and laugh with. So he's like, hey, this is me. You probably gonna make fun of me, but like, boom, boom, boom. It worked.
He was a good.
So you either like him or you don't, and you're very clear on that very early.
Yeah, it was fun, and we definitely laughed about it. And I I bumped into him a couple of times since then. He was like, "You got me down pat." I'm like, "You know I do." So, so
We need to hire him for sales.
I mean, hey.
listen, he is.
What's that brother's
he is
name?
Good. Chris. Because we got two of them, so that's Christopher. All right, so while I'm sitting here with my favorite people from Tequila with Friends, Brandon Scott and Rod West, who are the owners of this amazing brand, and you can shop their products in Total Wine and also in Specs. Is there anywhere else that you guys located that I'm missing?
Yeah,
other than restaurants, like
we have about 120 locations across the Metroplex. So tequilawithfriends.com/buy.
Simple and easy. One thing I truly, truly enjoy. So make sure that you grab some. This is the one that I have, because I don't do the reposado. I don't like the smoky stuff. I don't know why. This is my jam. And I actually put this in some of my coffee one morning.
Oh
yeah.
And that toasted southern pecan.
Oh yeah.
It really well. All right. So make sure you guys can get this from all retailers, and also tequilawithfriends.com/buy. So we're about to get into something that I really enjoy, which is a lot of fun. And this is called the lightning round. And so you have to answer the question with the first thing that comes to your mind.
Yep.
Some of these questions are going to be specific to you, and some are going to be specific to you.
Okay.
Well, simply just because you're married. So I can't ask you about like dating questions, and you got a whole wife and
Yeah, that would not work.
beautiful son.
Thank you.
Beautiful little boy. Is he a junior? He's a junior, right?
He's the second, so we call him Deuce.
Okay, I don't even know the order of those. I thought if it was
Yeah.
I'm just gonna say.
So some people the second is junior, some people is the Deuce. It's like you have.
Well, then where? Okay. All right. Part
Just
two.
dare to be different.
B squared. Got
There
it.
you go.
That's what I'm calling B squared. So, okay. Sfarad.
Mm-hmm.
Talking or texting?
Talking.
Why?
I'd like to hear your voice.
That's it?
Well, when you talk, there's less miscommunication. In the text, it can be read in different kind of inflex and whatever else have you. Your message can get lost. But if you're talking, you get your message point pretty clear.
Okie dokie. Celebrity crush.
Oh, damn.
Can't be
Zendaya.
damn. Who?
Zendaya.
Oh, I like her too.
Nia Long. My wife could answer this for me. Nia Long, for sure.
Hands down.
Yeah.
She like 50 plus and still
Don't
fine
care.
as she was when she showed up on Boys in the
Yeah,
Hood.
definitely.
Well, y'all know my celebrity crush will be Glenn Dorsey. I know.
Did not expect that. Okay.
I know. Or Marshawn Lynch or any other person that's over
You just like
240
football
pounds.
players, all right?
I just like my man thick. Like, I want to be able to hug you and not touch my elbows. Like, so if I can like put my finger in your navel, so like this first bend is always a safe space for me. Like, if you get in the car and you drop a little bit, like it's a special place in my heart for
Right
you.
on, right on, right on, right on.
I don't know, and I just think these
200 plus club. Got
You
it.
like what you
40.
like.
240 plus.
Yeah,
Okay.
you know, I need to feel. If you can shop in Zara, like.
Well, damn, I ain't it.
I don't unless they got a big and tall section. Like I don't you know what?
Fair enough. You what you like. I like it.
You gotta be consistent. You gotta be consistent. Okay, deal breakers.
Bad teeth.
Okay, that's.
That was lightning.
You said the first thing that come to mind.
I did.
That's true lightning.
But no, I'd be the same way. I'd be like,
All right, I'll give you another one.
okay.
All right. Deal breaker if I can't throw you in the water.
Get off my phone.
Yeah.
So now that you're married, but when you were dating, when you were pursuing your wife, what was one thing that you was just like, absolutely not, I can't do this?
If you're unsupportive, I have massive ambitions, and I needed and wanted a partner that would keep me encouraged, keep me honest, truly be my better half, and say, hey, this is where you're screwing up. Hey, double down here. So somebody that was super supportive and kind of just all in with me.
Okay, so I was going to use that one, so I'm going to have to have something else. Mine would be faith-based.
Okay.
Like, you have to be faith. I need to know that when we get down before the Father, we talking to the same person.
That's
like,
fair.
I don't need you chanting, knocking bells and stuff around. I don't know who was the head of your household. Like, I need us to be on the same page for that. All right. Top 3 turn-ons.
Jesus Christ.
I told you to quit.
Adventurous.
Okay.
Trustworthy.
Okay.
Faithful.
I like. All right. What are your top 3 things? Yours wouldn't be turn-ons, or whatever you want to do.
Yeah. Well, now we have a 1-year-old, so just love seeing her like take care of everything and making my life just easier. Like I'm so grateful for that. Her just being thoughtful, going above and beyond. And I would say last but not least, just the little things, doing doing something that just makes my life just a little bit easier. As you know, like I'm trying to go and do stuff as the head of the house. So
I enjoy it, and I enjoy looking at you guys on social and all your pictures and everything. Like, it's truly, truly a beautiful thing. I love Black love, and I also love young Black love, but I love Black love where you can see that everything, we working in this together.
Oh, yeah.
And you guys operate as a unit.
Oh, yeah. No doubt.
And I think in this space, everybody on this 50-50, you do this, I do that. Like, it's a unit, unified unit with you guys. All right. So with that being said, we're going to do your top movies and we're going to wrap it up.
How high?
Go ahead. Favorite movie?
That threw me off.
Me too. I was like, what?
I've known Rob for so long. I did not expect that answer. I feel like I can probably name most of his answers. What did I say? I love Friday. Friday's great.
Oh, mine would be Juwanna Mann.
Whoa, that one ain't not that. I don't know if that make my top 100.
It is my absolute favorite movie. I
Or
can quote it
top
front, back, and
1,000.
sideways.
Is that because you're from Atlanta?
He ain't from Atlanta.
The movie, I said the movie's North Carolina based, remember?
No, I mean just you from Atlanta, so
Oh, don't you dare. Don't you dare. Don't you dare. Don't you dare.
Next
Don't
question.
you dare.
Lightning round, keep
Don't
going.
you dare. Not at all. I love Miguel Nunez. I feel like he's a great actor, but he's just one of those people who I don't know if his roles or ages. I just don't see him as much as I would want to. Like, I really, really enjoy him as a
I
person.
saw his birthday was a couple days. He's almost 60.
And fine.
He's almost 60.
Yes.
I think he turned 59 this week or last week.
He is fine. Like, still looks amazing.
Sorry, his role in Life, though. Life was a great movie.
Oh, yeah.
I love him in general. Like, I just think he's a great
Which other
actor.
movies? So he's at Life, Joanna Man.
He got about 100
He
more.
got 100.
He got
Like,
a lot.
He's in a lot of different stuff. But all right. So with that being said, I want to tell you guys, thank you again so much for being our guest this week to unpack this episode. I wanted to do it with some guys, give them different perspective on how you guys are seeing some of these things. Also not a part of the show and seeing it randomly. But more importantly, and most importantly, to be able to allow people to learn more about Tequila with Friends, your brand, and what amazing things that you guys are doing in the community and how you kind of built, you built this
Oh, yeah.
from the ground up. Logos, trademarks, designs, tasting, and even the importance of going to the country where you're getting your product from and sampling it.
Oh, yeah. We're there pretty often. We were just there a few months ago, checking in on stuff. Our Añejo is getting ready to launch. So please, for the folks that do like smokier things and things that are aged, get ready.
Okay, so with that being said, Tequila with Friends, tell them where they can find you. I want to hear about this Añejo a little clearer, a little louder. So tell them about that as well, too. And then we're going to go to you, right?
Oh, baby, go ahead.
So tequilawithfriends.com, Tequila with Friends on all social media platforms. The Añejo will be out in the next 30 days. So super excited about that.
Hey.
Yeah, but kick it over to Rock.
Hey, and I want to thank you, Jessica, for allowing us this platform to get people knowing about Tequila with Friends a little bit more. One thing I will mention is we are building out our street team. So if anybody watching this here is interested, please hit us up, tequilawithfriends.com or through social media. Thank you again.
Of course.
Blanco, Reposado, Añejo, everything's better with friends. So Tequila with Friends is the route to go.
All right. So real quick for all the the non-avid tequila drinkers. So the Blanco is what's the take on that one?
What makes our tequila special is this. Our tequila is going to be a blend between highland and lowland agave. And what that means is you're going to get those sweet tones that come from the highland agave and the vegetal earthy type tones that come from the lowland agave. Super smooth. It is meant to be sipped on amongst friends. We like to say that you don't need any chasers, you don't need any mixers, you just add friends. Our Blanco, so Blanco is going to be from 0 to 3 months.
Okay.
Really unaged, your virgin tequila straight out of the agave. Your Reposado is going to be from 3 months to a year. Our Reposado is aged for 11 months, so it's right on the cusp of becoming an Añejo. And it's aged in Jack Daniel's American White Oak barrels. So you're going to get those whiskey notes in there as well as those oaky flavors as well. And then our Añejo is dropping out still the same, blend between highland and lowland agave. But keep me honest, this is 18 months? Yep. 18-month age on our Añejo. And so it's going to be spectacular. I had to stop myself from swearing on that one. But, I mean, I stand by our juice. We stand by our juice. We're all about tequila, travel, exploration, adventure, representing where we're from here in Dallas, Texas. Oak Cliff was where we all came up together. And then, of course, we're about bringing people together, and you can see that involved within our logo as well.
Cool beans. So thank you guys so much for joining us, and thank you guys for tuning in to the Soft Script Podcast. I'm so glad you guys are here. We'll have everything linked in the show notes. And until next time, we have another amazing Black-owned business as we continue our run of Black Business Month for the month of August.